Hello, this is Greg Gaussman, Green Greg. It's coming to you on the 23rd of May, 2021. Time on deck, 1600 hours Central Daylight Time. What is China up to? China is building two brand new nuclear facilities that can produce weapons-grade plutonium if they so choose, dual-use type facilities. And there are those who believe that China has more than the stated number of 300 to 350 nuclear weapons. These facilities, if they so choose to use them for it, could produce far more weapons in a very quick hurry. And what really concerns a lot of people is they've ended their transparency in reporting to the International Atomic Agency, International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA, about their stockpiles of plutonium, civilian use or whatever. So a lot of people are really worried. They're worried about the lack of transparency. And as I've mentioned before, especially in interviews with guys like Dr. Peter Vincent Pry, this whole notion that the stockpile of Soviet nuclear weapons has remained the same over decades seems a little bit suspicious, especially considering the number of missiles that they've been coming out with of late. So what is going on? What is the real threat from China? What do they have up their sleeves? We need to be careful here. Now, quick disclaimer, I'm talking about the People's Republic of China, the government thereof, not the people they're from. There are, as you know, two Chinas. There is also the Republic of China, which we affectionately call Taiwan. They're Chinese people too, who love freedom. So this has nothing to do with Chinese people. It's got to do with the government that runs the People's Republic of China, the Chinese Communist Party, and their People's Liberation Army. All that said, what are they up to? What does it mean to us? This is part of my eyes wide open and head on a swivel series to bring you news that you need to be aware of so that you can know how to prep for the things that may come. And what may come is we may wind up in an engagement with China. There's a lot of concern that our current tensions with China might eventually lead to a full-blown nuclear war. I hope not, but just how vast could that be? It may be a lot worse than you would think. So you really need to consider that in your preparations. And that's what I'm talking about. I bring you many videos on this line. I'll bring you videos that tell you how to garden, how to grow your own food, how to do it without having to go to the store to buy things by using things like worm castings, worm tea, worms. I bring you just natural composting. I'll bring you videos about such things as how to eat from the weeds and trees. And I've done some bug out videos and other similar videos. So stay tuned to my channel. If you've not subscribed, bang the update notification bell and click all to receive more of my videos. Now, before we get out, I will also say, hey, you've got to prepare, you've got to get ready. One of the best things you can do is have long-term storage food. And I got a special deal. If you go to prepwithgregs.com, prepwithgreg.com, you can find that we have a special $200 off a 3-month supply of food that lasts 25 years, just a shelf life of 25 years. And it is freeze-dried, so it is lightweight. You can carry it. It's easy to bug out with. It's got these great versatile buckets that even your kids can carry. Some of those other great big, totes. It's hard for somebody to push across the threshold, according to some of their videos. Yes, this is a good supply, and you can get 6 of these with a 3-month supply. There's also a $50 deal you can get with 2 of these. $50 off for a 4-week supply of this 25 year-long lasting food, and you get 2,000 calories a day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yes, that's a deal that will make you a winner. So check it out. There's also other prepping supplies. If you go to prepwithgreg.com, if you just click on the My Patriot Supply logo, many other food choices, water filters, air filters, and bug out prepping type supplies like you'd normally be looking for. And at a time like this, with all the tensions in the world that we have, both domestically and internationally, yeah, you better consider it. And considering also food's gone up 30% in the last year and may skyrocket a lot more. This is a good investment. Look at inflation right now. 20, 25 years from now, when you're popping these things up and go, wow, I saved a lot of money. This is the best investment I made. You might be saying that, just possibly. Anyway, my friends, let's get on with this. What is going on with China? What are they up to? Here's what you need to know. They are developing these 2 new nuclear facilities. They are 2 reactors. They're building them on the island of, what is that island? It's called Changbao. It's spelled Chang B-I-A-O. So, I'd be murdering the name of the island, Chang Bio. So what they are is these are two other CFR 600 sodium fast cool neutron reactors. Neutron nuclear reactors. Yes, these things can produce plutonium and do so in vast quantities. Now, of course, they could just be producing plutonium to make for other nuclear power plants to go meet their 2060 green energy deal. Of course, also they may be building more of these reactors and up in their capacity to make more plutonium. So these are the questions at hand. What are they really, really up to? So what these two reactors do is they employ something called a closed fuel cycle nuclear breeder reactors. Yes, these are the nuclear breeder reactors. You may remember that terminology from the old Carter days if you've been around for a while. They do produce plutonium, and they could also be reprocessed and used as fuel, or they might be used for producing a lot of nuclear weapons, and do so very fast. So that's what we're worried about. And like I said, so the thing that's concerning a lot of people is that they did stop their annual reporting of voluntary declarations to the International Atomic Energy Agency in 2017 for civilian stockpiles of plutonium. And a lot of people are suddenly concerned about this lack of transparency that they have today in this regard. It's thought that, right now they're claiming, still that they have like 300 to 350 nuclear weapons. That's the claim. As I mentioned, some people dispute that claim right now. But what these two reactors by themselves, regardless of whatever else China has, these two reactors could enable them to produce 1,270 nuclear weapons by 2030. And there's all this interest in the year 2030 for some reason. What is all that about? But 2030, by that year, they could, from these two reactors alone, produce another 1,270 nuclear weapons. Now, it's just since we're having such tension with China, this is something to think about. I'm going to share some things with you. What we're going to go over, I'm going to share some articles with you guys. And one place you can find this topic in is Al Jazeera. You got to scan wide to find out what's going on in the world. American media just likes to talk about our own politics, right, for the most part. So if you really want to know what's going on, you got to scan a lot of other sources in the world. You got to scan articles, journals, look at the papers filed by officials and experts in various and sundry areas. There's a lot of papers out there you can find and look at that the so-called experts put out. So this is out of Al Jazeera. So let's take a quick little review here. As I said, it's said that China has something on the order of 350 of these nuclear weapons that have a maximum missile range of 15,000 kilometers, guys. In the United States, and they can target anything in the United States within 15,000 kilometers. Now, this article here, of course, being Wikipedia, don't give you a lot of insight into this. So let's go to a few other places here. Here's one. Other missiles. Big old fat-looking missile, DF-5B. And so this article here is in War on the Rocks, which talks about how China's modernizing their forces and how that just over a decade ago they had just silo-based weapons that weren't very accurate. And but by 2020 they've got a whole smorgasbord of very accurate missiles that they're developing, and how this is just going forward into more development. So I'm not going to read this article outright. I'm just kind of giving you a quick summary of what's in here. Let's go to some other sources here real quick. I want to make this a short video if I can. It is late. If Zoom don't hardly let me click the buttons I'm trying to share with you. Every time I try to click a tab, it brings its controls down. Okay, here we go. Missile threat. This is a good missiles of China. And I think this is an older article, in fact. So don't talk about the DF-27. It's got the DF-26 in here. And so that's one of the shorter range ballistic missiles that we're concerned about hitting the first island chain, maybe second island chain. This is also known as a Guam buster. in some jargon. It is a nuclear capable weapon by itself. But we are within range, so this shows the different missile suites, their ranges, what they could hit. But bear in mind, you see this chart right here? This is what we need to look at if it'll pull it up. Same chart. The 15,000 kilometer, see it's going down to South America. 11,000 kilometer gets just about all of North America and Florida. So this is the kind of weapons we're looking at. As you can see, 15,000 kilometer, the DF-41, for example. 13,000 kilometer, DF-5. That's a huge missile. Ones that only get that range. So, yeah, there's quite a few weapon systems in here that have remarkable capacity. We'll show you some more stuff on this. I got to minimize this just so I can hit the controls. Let's take another map. I'll find a better map for you guys to look at here. Right here. There we go. I hate it when you click on something and don't take you where you want to go. Pull it up again. There we go. Didn't really want to show us this. For some reason. The Dongfeng missile. Well, holy smoke. I've been trying to open this map up. Here we go. Look at this, guys. The DF-5. Yeah, what did I say? I said it was longer range. It's a huge missile. Now, this could take out the Virgin Islands. Okay. DF-31A, all of Florida. There you go, guys. The JL-2, West Coast. So Alaska, Hawaii is in range of all these, and this is the shorter range missiles. So this is some of their missile range capabilities. One of the things that's really struck a lot of people odd about China is this underground network of tunnels, which appears to be tunnels that can shuttle the missiles back and forth between silos. And this whole intercontinental ballistic missile tunnel system also leads some people to assess that China has more nuclear weapons than what we hear about. It's called the Underground Great Wall of China. Now there's a lot of stuff in here, but who knows about that? But here's the thing: even if it just got 200 missiles, and let's say that targeted the United States, and say a few years from now, just 200. What cities might they be targeting if they target the top 200 cities? Some people say they're more than targeting the cities. I would say they would still target NORAD, our intercontinental ballistic missile bases, our SAC bases, there's strategic air command bases, which have like the B-52s, the B-2s, and things like that. Yeah, they'd be targeting those bases too. But all you gotta do is put holes in the runways. The planes don't fly. The missile bases and NORAD, they would really have to hammer them pretty good, especially NORAD. But look here. This is at the bottom of the top 200 is Waco, Texas. And the current population is believed to be just under 142,000. Does your city have over 142,000 people in it? If it does, you're likely to be a targeted city. I will slowly scroll through here. I'm not going to read off every city. You can see for yourself. Joliet, Illinois. I'll throw out a few. Patterson, New Jersey. Rockford, Illinois. Denton, Texas. Pasadena, Texas. Naperville, Illinois. Bellevue, Washington. Springfield, Massachusetts. Sunnyvale, California. Palmdale, California. Macon County, Georgia. Now, why a county? I guess it's a municipal government in Macon County. Hollywood, Florida. Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Alexandria, Virginia. Springfield, Missouri. Corona, California. See, these aren't ginormous cities. Fort Collins, Colorado. Oceanside, California. Eugene, Oregon. I got a transmission fixed there once. Salem, Oregon. I mean, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Brownsville, Texas. Chattanooga, Tennessee. You would have thought Chattanooga would have been big enough. Of course, there's a bunch of nuclear power plants there. If you hit that place, those plants get cooked off, we're in trouble, right? Tempe, Arizona. Okay, that's where Mr. High in Raising Arizona kept going to jail, right? Maybe. I'd have a little fun with things, right? Huntsville, Alabama is 118 on this list. Birmingham, Alabama is 116. Yeah, guys. Modesto, California. Tacoma, Washington. Frisco, Texas. Boise, Idaho. Richmond, Virginia. So these aren't the cities you normally think about. Buffalo, New York. And as you get, then you start getting the bigger cities: Scottsdale, Arizona; Toledo, Ohio; Durham, North Carolina; Lincoln, Nebraska. So yeah, you start getting more. So we'll just go. Of course, the top cities. You got Long Beach, California; Mesa, Arizona. There's tons of cities in Arizona in here, believe it or not. Just scary, especially in southern Arizona. And the top is, of course, New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, Texas. Phoenix, Arizona is number 5. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania is number 6. San Antonio, Texas is number 7. Wow. San Diego is number 8. Dallas, Texas is number 9. Austin, Texas is 10. San Jose, California, but they want to hit that place, 11. Fort Worth, 12. Guys, if you live in any city that's got over 142,000 people in it, or if you live downrange the prevailing winds for some miles where the fallout would fall out the most, you may want to consider where you live at. You might want to consider moving. I always tell you on my channel, let me just stop this here. Talked about this stuff enough. What do? I like to talk about solutions. Think hard about living in a big city. I know that's where most of the jobs are, but look, today a lot of us can work from home. Maybe you don't consider changing your career. I've done a few videos about market gardening, worm farming, even a courier service. You can do that in the city. Guys, there are other things you can do to make a living. Even when things shut down, when economies are shut down due to a bug going around, there's still things you can do to make a living. Some of them give you a lot of freedom as to where you can be. So you need to consider these things. Think about them. You may not be able to jump immediately, but you might start working toward it. If it's 2030 that it all hits, you got 9 years. Could be tomorrow morning. You might have 9 hours, 9 minutes, 9 years, maybe all eternity. Maybe that just won't happen. Yikes. But all this tension in the United States, a lot of the trigger points against China, Russia, Iran. There's so many trigger points and hot points in the world today. It's kind of like the whole world has just got powder kegs stacked up everywhere and fuses all over the place. And these fuses, just like stuff they're like impact detonation. If like you step on them, I don't know, guys. We're living in trying times. Just remember that when it was just Russia and the United States, we had many, many, many close calls. We came within a hair of going into full-blown conflict, often due to computer era or an era in interpreting what a Black Brant rocket launch was. When Yeltsin was president of Russia, we thought we were in a peaceful era. They almost nuked us, as they thought that was a missile coming out of a submarine out of the Barents Sea that was going to EMP them with our fleet of nuclear missiles in behind it to come. Too many close calls. That's the risk of the proliferation of weapons, and especially as more and more countries get in the game. Hopefully we can find a way to turn this around. But see, one of the other things, reasons that there's a lot of concern about this, is that China basically rebuffed the United States when the United States offered them a chance to sit down and have nuclear weapons negotiations like we have with Russia. China really wants to get up on par with Russia and the United States, it seems. Why else would they do that? Why else would they build reactors like this? Why? You don't have to have a fast breeder reactor to have a nuclear powered industry. And even if plutonium is a nasty element to be produced on Earth, it is extremely deadly. We don't need plutonium. Maybe if you're listening, if you're in China, maybe you can talk to leaders out of this stuff. Yeah, I don't think there's a fat chance of that. But maybe one day the people and the People's Republic of China might see fit to not be led by someone who wants to lead them down the road of continuing antagonism with the rest of the world, such as their current president, Xi Jinping. Maybe they can bring this to an end collectively. Yeah, it would take a lot of people to do that, but it still could happen. You just got to be enough of them raised up. So these are things to think about, guys. What can you do? Get ready, prepare. Consider bunkers. Consider where you'd bug out to, especially if you live in your bug out location. And you don't have to bug out unless you're getting overwhelmed by people. Then it's have tribes, have communities. You know, our tribal network is forming, but it is slow, and I apologize for that. We do now have Arkansas tribe. We've got the main tribe seems to be forming now. We've got Arizona, Alabama, and I've just been trying to build a tribal leadership network, and we're going to start referring people to these leaders. You know, it takes time. I've got a lot of irons in the fire, but we're working it. If you want to know more about our tribes, email me at info@freedomrestorationfoundation.org, because you can't, it's hard to make it alone. You don't need to be a lone ranger trying to survive by yourself. Form your own network if you can, your own friends and family, and take care of yourself. And that way, we hope with our network that we could at least be able to trade among each other and have, you know, a more extended community, not only in the local tribes, but across the country. If you're interested in maintaining our freedoms, so put tribe in the subject line when you email info@freedomrestorationfoundation.org. I got somebody working on our spreadsheets, building this up, making all the connections, and we'll ask you questions so we can figure out how to situate you. So the other thing is, if you're interested in freedom, maintaining our freedoms, put freedom in the subject line of the same email, info@freedomrestorationfoundation.org, and check out the website, freedomrestorationfoundation.org. Yeah, another thing you can do is watch how you spend your money. Personally, I would say it might be wise to spend money in areas that minimize things that go to China. Buying product from China, it's hard to do in this day and age, but buy as much American or other product as you can. European, maybe Indian, from the nation of India. Of course, always support our natives Americans too when you get a chance. They need help. Also consider, most of all, buying locally. Support your local artisans, your local tradesmen, your local farmers. How you spend your dollars has a lot to do with what happens. China built that military, you know, thanks to us buying stuff from them, and you know, Walmart forced a lot of companies to put their factories over there several years ago and things like that. That's kind of how it led it down that road. Focus good here. Here we go. So it's a lot you can do, but you know, you need to, you know, be sure our leadership knows that, hey, we need to be ready to protect ourselves as a nation. It's sad we live in a world like this. It's sad that we have to deal with things like that, because I would rather we not have a standing military. Even our founding fathers didn't like that. Maybe one day we can get out of having a military industrial complex, but as long as there's some big enemy out there in the world who's acting aggressive, it's kind of hard to stand all that down. Maybe one day we won't have that. We can't survive in this world with all the hatreds that are being generated. We won't make it as a people. We've got to learn how to get along and get past that. But part of that is we've got to find a way in this world not to have, you know, individual leaders that can just take over a big block nation and threaten the rest of the world. Easier said than done. I don't support the global so-called alternative to that. I feel like that may be, well, yeah, I don't think that's the way to go, because then you may wind up with the worst situation. And then there's nowhere to go. It's everywhere. Yikes. Okay, my friends. Let's hope we get around this stuff. I really think that the best government is the government that governs the least, and the government that's most local. And the tribe was a natural government that humans chose until somebody got a wise idea to start nation states, and all the wars that ensued from that. Yeah. All right, my friends. Just the eyes wide open, head on the swivel. So y'all take care. Get ready. Be prepared, not scared. But be right with your maker. Be right with your friends and family. Always tell the people you love them every chance you get. And always remember, maybe the best way to deal with this is love. Light dispels darkness, and love dispels hate. We got to work on that, guys. We really got to work on it. The answer is not picking on other people's. You know, two wrongs never makes a right. But we do have to keep our eyes wide open, our head on a swivel, and we have to defend ourselves in more ways than one. So let's hope and pray that we find a way to get around this, to survive another day. Although, my friends, I say thank you for watching.